ESPN has been going through a purge. One of my favorite people, Ryan Clark, absolutely gone. Although, based on his own reaction and the things he's said since he's been let go, he's as delusional as Angel Reese making those ridiculous comments about Sandy Brondello. He has no understanding whatsoever as to why he is no longer with ESPN because he, of course, is a perpetual victim. But guess what? Chiney, all of the sudden, after everything we've seen with her and the things she said about Caitlin Clark, the things she said about Caitlin Clark's fans many times, over and over, derogatory comments, alluding to them being, racist and white supremacists and all of this other nonsense, and players being other players being unsafe and the online discourse and on and on and on. All of the sudden, she wants to sing a different tune. Isn't that interesting? Could it be for one of the first times in her life she's worried about consequences? Is that possible? You have got to listen to this. Let me get there real quick. Favor if you don't mind. If you are enjoying the content, don't forget to smash that like button right now before you forget. You will forget. I know my short term memory, it's like 10 seconds at best. Comment, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I think we're fewer than 200 away from 17,000, which is really kind of cool. So I appreciate all of you out there who have subscribed to the channel. And if you have, don't forget to check and make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is sneaky. All right, let's take a listen to this.
Things. I feel like it's time to reset the conversation. And I understand that you and I and this platform, First Take, we have a job to do.
Mhm.
Every day, we're asked to break down the game, to analyze the game, to give our opinions on players, to give our opinions on teams, to really talk about these big moments in sport. But overall, this conversation about the WNBA and one of its shining stars, the shooting star that only happens once in a while, Caitlin Clark, who is a phenomenal player, she just wants to play basketball. Like,
Oh, let's have a reset. All of these other things that people are talking about, and poor little Caitlin, who all of a sudden is a shooting star, i.e., generational player who just wants to play basketball. Wow, this sure does not sound like the shiny Chiney that I know, who is always diminishing Caitlin Clark, always talking about and Angel Reese, always going after her fans. She's one of the people who is generating all these other conversations that are not about basketball. Do you all not understand yet that Caitlin Clark fans want it to be all about basketball and you simply have not been letting it happen? But now that ESPN's laying off people and ESPN's laying off big names, and yes, race baiters like Ryan Clark find themselves without a job, reality's hitting. Here's reality's coming. Reality is here. And all of the sudden it's, hey, maybe we could just talk about basketball. Isn't that interesting?
every other player in the W. And this conversation has reached levels that stray so far away from the sport. And I feel like it is our responsibility now to recenter it. And I know I've
Now, now, it's our responsibility now. It wasn't her responsibility before ESPN started laying people off and she was worried about her job. But now that we've come this far, now that we have all these things happen, now that we've got these awful hit pieces being written by USA Today talking about, comparing what's going on with Caitlin Clark to Emmett Till, like these effing clowns, man.
not been perfect in this. Oftentimes, in full transparency, I did not want to talk about this today because I personally believe our shows have a choice to on whether deciding what we give airtime to and what we don't. And in my opinion, we should be giving airtime to the beautiful basketball in this 30th season of the WNBA and not other things that stoke the fire and fuel the fire and add more to a little bit of the madness that we're experiencing. I understand I'm not perfect. I'm grateful to have a voice in the conversation, but like the intersection of what we're talking about and what these players are having to deal with and the weight that they carry, these are basketball players that just want to celebrate the game. And that's why I'm here in Chicago. That's always the focus. That should be the center focus and not like these extremes that we have gotten to.
Wow. Wow. Like I said, I I have not been perfect, and I'm grateful for this. In other words, I am the problem. I am one of the leading voices that have caused all of these issues and made things about other stuff besides basketball. And oh my God, I might actually get fired. And we simply cannot have that. Consequences, actions, consequences. By the way, what you are seeing right here is one of the biggest problems with the WNBA. The actions of these players, Kathy Engelbert has proven it. She's shown it over and over and over again. The actions of these players never lead to consequences. That is why the league is in the state that it is in. That is why these conversations that we are having are never about basketball because these players never suffer consequences. I mean, is Angel Reese not one of the greatest examples you can give? Sandy Brundello literally could have said, Angel Reese is, in my opinion, Angel Reese is too tall. That's how innocuous her statement was. Angel Reese was getting whistles she shouldn't have gotten, and Sandy simply said she's a protected species, i.e., she's getting a special whistle. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's Australian and it's commonly used for that," and this, and I didn't even like that because for me that was completely unnecessary. It did not matter that it was Australian slang. Any decent human being with an IQ above 9 has zero problem with what Sandy Brundello played, especially if you were involved in sports. Everyone knows exactly what she meant. And what does Kathy Engelbert do? She suspends Sandy Brundello for doing nothing wrong, making it very clear to Angel Reese there are never consequences for your disgusting actions. There are never consequences for your lies. She lied about the Indiana Fever fans and slurs in 2025. That led to an investigation of the fans. Angel Reese has never suffered any consequences, and all these other players, same things. Alyssa Thomas, multiple times, has screamed about slurs being yelled at games, zero proof. Nothing ever happens to her. Brittany Griner has done it, zero proof. Nothing ever happens to her. Marina Mabrey, Kennedy Carter, Alyssa Thomas, no consequences for what they do on the court either. And that is why you get this absolute cesspool of a reality show with these emotionally stunted, emotionally immature, always a victim, always taking offense players, right? I did a video the other day about Sanaya Rivers getting on threads and yapping with these fans and encouraging these fans that are talking crap about Caitlin Clark. Tiffany Hayes did the same thing not that long ago. That is why the WNBA is a mess. You are seeing it right here that when there is a possibility of consequences, all of a sudden they change their tunes. But all they've seen is they've acted exactly how they've always acted. They have not seen any consequences. In fact, even though it came from Caitlin Clark, of course, what they saw was a new CBA deal that has made them a lot more money than they ever got before. They've been rewarded for their behavior. Show them, Kathy Engelbert, that there can be consequences for their crap. That is the only way to move this league forward in the right direction. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. I will talk to you later.